And so even as Ladi attends that event in Cape Town, the conversation around cross-border trading within the continent is persisting now. There are some individuals who believe that perhaps cross-border payments could be done um, easier, more efficiently with stable coins. Yes, but let's delve into this now with Jason Marshall. He's the Chief Operating Officer of Yellow Card Financial right here in the studio. Hi, Jason. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Great. So emerging markets, including Nigeria, but Africa at this time, especially with President Trump highlighting America first. So Africa is looking at how to present a coordinated front. One of the ways is through AfCFTA, but we need to increase trade within the continent. And there are some individuals who think perhaps the way of stable coins might make it easier.
Absolutely. The current cross-border financial system was not built for emerging markets. If you send a transaction from Nigeria to, say, Cote d'Ivoire, the transaction goes to New York, maybe New York and London, before coming back to Africa. There's one or two American or European banks as middlemen taking their fees, and the transaction, is, frankly, is slow and expensive. What stablecoins and blockchain technology allows us to do is get rid of the middlemen. There's a neutral playing field, a neutral system, where we can send value from one entity to another directly. And that creates a lot of opportunity in intra-Africa trade payments, as well as trade payments to other parts of the emerging world.
But the crypto space still needs to win a lot of trust, even within, countries, before we can look at the way of, cross-border.
So stablecoins are a very unique and important segment of crypto. Stablecoins are backed one for one by audited reserves held in US Treasury bills and cash in American and European banks. They're called stablecoins because if you look historically, their value stays at $1. So these are not speculative assets, these are tools for solving cross-border and other payment problems.
Okay, but stablecoin matched to the dollar in a country like Nigeria, that's Naira.
Yes.
So, I mean, you still have to deal with that.
So if a Nigerian company has to pay a supplier in India or China or South Africa, that supplier is not accepting Naira. Maybe that'll change someday, but for now, they're not. So everyone's chasing after a limited supply of hard US dollars. With stablecoins, that supply is unlimited. And so there is a very liquid market where people in Nigeria turn their Naira into stablecoins. And then everywhere in the world, those stablecoins get turned back into the currency they want, whether it's Chinese yuan, South African rand, Kenyan shilling, Mexican peso, euros, dollars, anywhere. So the domestic payment problem is largely solved. Nigeria has one of the most advanced real-time electronic banking systems in the world, and had it, frankly, before the United States. But in the cross-border space, there's a lot of inefficiencies, not because of Nigeria's problems, because the system wasn't built for Nigeria or any other emerging market. And that's why it's expensive and slow.
So I know that there are conversations with AfCFTA connecting to PAPs now,
Sure.
So that's supposed to solve that problem and eliminate the need for dollars and stuff. I wonder how you put that side by side with this message of stablecoin.
Sure. Stablecoins in their various forms and blockchain technology, we think someday will be part of the infrastructure of PAPs or any other similar system and process. What we're really talking about is some really technical, nerdy financial plumbing. And most of our banking system relies on financial plumbing that was set up a long time ago. And the technology's advanced so fast. It advances fast every day. And we just simply have better tools. So at Yellow Card Financial, we simply want to use the most modern tools possible to enable participants in the financial system to be able to move money faster and cheaper in a more efficient way, in a scalable technology way.
How popular and accepted is stablecoin within the continent? Because at this time, we're trying to push intra-African trade.
Massively popular. Our biggest problem is keeping up with demand. And it's simply because we can do this technology, and yellow card's a path to this technology, simply can do things faster and cheaper. Our clients, many of whom are businesses and enterprises, are making payments to the UK or to Ivory Coast or to South Africa or to China, often same day. And China sometimes T+1 because of time differences. Through the traditional banking system, these same payments take 2 or 3 days. And we often save 20, 30, or 40% of the cost. And so what we find is there's a lot of smart people in Nigeria. If there's technology that works and saves their business a little money and saves their business time and working capital, people figure it out. And so this is very popular. The issuers of stablecoins are the top 20 holders of US treasuries on the world. This has become so big that we're seeing interest globally from giants. JP Chase, the largest non-government bank, just announced a massive stablecoin initiative. Earlier today, Ant, which is part of the Alibaba Group, one of the biggest companies in China, just announced a partnership with one of the biggest American stablecoin companies. We announced a partnership with Visa to help use this technology in Africa. So I think the popularity is soaring because it's better tech.
It's better tech, but what about when the tech is not there? And then, we also see stories of digital assets and some frauds,
Sure.
that happen around it,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we're not talking about necessarily buying crypto to get rich, buying crypto is speculative. There is no quick get-rich scheme. If someone's going to say this will make you rich quickly, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's fraud, right? What Nigerian companies and some business and enterprises and some individuals are doing is they're moving from Naira to stablecoins for about 1.5 minutes or 5 minutes. And
just for the transaction, that's
just for the transaction.
Okay.
So if you think of it that way, it's a tool. So they're using stablecoins and blockchain technology. And by the way, because it's on the blockchain, they can trace their transaction publicly, which is hard to do in the traditional financial system if you're not within the bank itself. So it's just a tool to move money cheaper and faster.
As small businesses in this would need some level of enlightenment, for small businesses especially.
Our biggest competitor is actually the informal market. So there's a massive informal market, especially in Nigeria, and there's people who are really savvy in this space who are working with small businesses. Now, the small business may not understand the nuances of what's happening, but what they know is they gave Naira to this person they trust, and their supplier gets paid in 12 hours in China.
Well, there's a third party in between for them.
There's somebody, Nigerians are going to find a way to make a little, to make a little something helping somebody use some tools, right? But no, the small businesses are adapting this rapidly. Some directly, some indirectly with helpers.
Okay, so for you now, you think this is the way to go? It's a safe way to go, it's faster, and it's cheaper, the way of stablecoin?
Absolutely. And it's not just me thinking that, right? It's JP Chase, it's Visa, we announced a partnership with PayPal earlier. It's major enterprises and small businesses and everything in between.
All right, we'll see how that goes. See how much competition that will give to, although you said PAPS should be able to absorb, because the message of PAPS is really blowing up at this time, especially, everybody trying to bring the African countries together. But anyways, thank you so much for your time and enlightenment.
Thank you
Jason
very much.
Marshall, Chief Operating Officer, Yellow Card Financial.
Thank you very much.